Welcome to BonBonB's review of No Man's Sky. I'm BonBonB and you're very welcome. No Man's Sky is an open universe sandbox survival game, and if what you're looking for is a space exploration game where you can jet off to any planet or any moon in any solar system and marvel at the geological formations and the life that has evolved there while maintaining your starship, spacesuit and multi-tool using only the raw resources on the planets themselves, or through extensive trading with the other intelligent life and learning more of the lore of this unique universe, then this game is for you. But while it's got a heck of a lot going for it, it is also far from the perfect polished product we were all hoping for. A game of this scope should have been perfect for the PC, but instead what we have plays and feels like a console port. And the reason is? Well, that's exactly what it is. A PlayStation game converted for the PC. This is especially noticeable in the clumsy options menu. The click and hold mechanic upsets many a player, though I'm actually happy with this in the open game. Opening crates etc. do not happen instantly, but it has absolutely no reason to be present in the menu. The game was produced by a very small team, but that's not what holds No Man's Sky back. The overwhelming feel I get is that the game wasn't play tested by enough people. I do understand that in a virtually limitless universe it would be impossible to cover every scenario, but many of the game's problems occur in every scenario. Even a small team of say 20 playtesters could have cleared up many of these minor issues prior to launch. Originally we were sold that every atom in the No Man's Sky universe would be procedurally generated. This simply isn't the case, and may in part be because the game was dumbed down for the PS4. Sure, the planets do seem to have a very good variety, but you can often predict crate contents even before they're opened. Common mineral and flora assets are reused. For example, you can spot a zinc or platinum flower on any planet as they are identical, despite being totally different species. And fauna, despite supposed evolution, can regularly look like a creation from a child's folded paper drawing game. Other times creatures are just plain bizarre, but on the rare occasion that you see something genuinely alien, it's a treat to behold. My personal biggest grievance is that there is no clear marker system. Once you have discovered a location, it would be helpful for your navigation computer to display this when approaching, or to call up as a waypoint from your travelling history. This would be especially useful as the reused building assets can make all like locations appear identical from the air. The amount of times I've landed my starship only to discover I've been there before, collected the blueprints etc. and moved on. It's frustrating. The only way to prevent this is just to jet off for a couple of minutes and start exploring a completely different area. Speaking of flight, if you were looking for a flight simulator, this isn't it. No Man's Sky Flight is more point and go than anything challenging. The autopilot will generally prevent you from crashing into anything, but at the expense of being able to hurtle Luke Skywalker style down Beggar's Canyon, or under rock formations a la Will Smith in Independence Day. The autopilot will always override you to keep a respectful distance from the surface. Takeoffs and landings are a simple single button push. When flying your ship into a space station, you relent the final controls to the automatic systems. You kind of feel like Han Solo approaching the Death Star. It's that cool. Landing on the planet's surface can be more tricky. Sometimes you'll be told that the area is not clear. Other times your ship will happily land on a flimsy looking tree. This mechanic needs looking at. Draw distance can be disappointing in this game with pop-in happening all the time. But my biggest bugbear concerning flight is just how many asteroids there are in space. I understand the developers don't want players getting stranded out in the void, and made sure there was plenty of ready fuel wherever you may be. But seriously, if there were this much matter in space, the entire universe would collapse under its own mess. And finally, on the matter of starships, you can buy any ship in the game. You simply approach the pilot, make an offer for the ship, which involves simply paying the asking price, no haggling involved, and the ship is yours. That's akin to walking up to the driver of a car sat at traffic lights and being guaranteed to be able to drive it away for the right price. Not every car is for sale, and nor should every starship be. A shipyard would have been a far cooler idea. I'm sure every gamer will have had their own No Man's Sky glitches. For me the biggest was the availability of antimatter. I played for 27 full hours before I was able to get my hands on some. That's 27 hours in one solar system. The supposed quest line was never triggered, and I was finally successful bartering with traders at the space station. Then after warping off to my second solar system, the first alien I met offered me the blueprint to build a hyperdrive. Thanks mate, but I already have one. Can I have the recipe for antimatter instead please? No? Fine, be like that. This game sounds really rubbish, right? Well, hold on there. How come despite working 60 hours in my day job, I've still found time to cram in over 36 hours of gameplay in the first week since launch, and even now I feel I'm only just getting started in the game. No Man's Sky is completely immersive. The planets and moons are so huge that just exploring a small section of each one could take days. And some of the vistas are truly amazing. Rather than the usual grimy realism, No Man's Sky uses artwork right out of a 1970s sci-fi graphic novel. And it really works. To support this, the sound effects and soundtrack are right on point. I was particularly impressed at the sound that Acid Rain made on my cockpit while parked on a toxic planet. So are games meant to be fun? Well, if non-stop fun is what you're looking for, this probably is not the game for you. Sure, there are plenty of fun moments in No Man's Sky. There are also many long and grinding moments too. It's kind of like life, but in space. Ish. So is it worth the money? Well, if you're the type of person that is happy spending full price on the new Blu-ray movie that you'll only watch 2 or 3 times, then yes it is. I'm certain I'll be getting well over 100 hours of gameplay out of No Man's Sky and probably a whole lot more. If however you're looking for a polished flight sim with top class FPS elements, well, you'll feel a whole lot ripped off. Overall, sure, the game can be a grind, its bugs can be frustrating, but if exploring a limitless universe is your thing, along with the history and lore of the alien races within, then you won't go far wrong with No Man's Sky. Now excuse me, I've got a moon to pillage.